Emily. I'm from Booking.com, based in Denver, Colorado. So today we're going to be diving into how you can expand your reach and tap into a global traveler base without sacrificing the security of your properties. We know that quality over quantity is the mantra for short-term rental hosts. So growing your business shouldn't mean growing your stress levels, and the goal for today is to demonstrate how our latest features provide a protective bubble around your listings. So now I'm going to move on to the pillars that make hosting worry-free on Booking.com possible. So at Booking.com, our philosophy is simple. We have got your back. We focus on a few core areas, insights, control, and coverage to ensure that you are never hosting in the dark. So insights, getting to know your guests before they even arrive through data-driven profiles. Control, you decide who stays at your property and how to communicate with them. Coverage, so robust insurance protections that are built into our platform to handle all the what ifs that pop up with hosting. The first major tool in your control toolkit is our request to book feature. So we've definitely heard our host feedback, and we're really excited to now have request to book, which is available across the extranet, our app, and directly within Hospitable. So the Booking.com request to book feature is treated as an inquiry on Hospitable, and this feature allows you to review a guest's details before a reservation is finalized, message before you commit, so you can chat with your potential guests to clarify house rules or stay expectations. It creates a really efficient, clear, and easy way to manage your calendar without the pressure of having instant bookings. And to make sure these requests are even more secure, we have some different functionality in place. So first, you can chat with guests before accepting their stay. So hosts can chat with guests before accepting their booking request, which is a game changer for screening, not screaming. You can ask about a trip purpose, guest count, or confirm if they've read your rules. So let's say you see a weekend request from a local guest. You might ask, what brings you into town? That 10-second question can service whether it's a quiet couple or a potentially rowdy party. This can be the digital equivalent of meeting guests at your door before handing over the keys. So you create rapport, manage expectations, and filter out any mismatches without confrontation. And then to ensure you never miss an opportunity to vet a guest, we've overhauled our notification system. So we have made notifications prominent across all of your devices, email, web, and our app, so you can respond to requests even faster. So as you know, speed equals conversion. So faster responses lead to higher booking rates and a better guest experience. Both you and your guests receive reminders for unconfirmed requests to keep things moving along, and these prompts ensure no potential guest is left hanging. Beyond messaging, though, we provide deep insights into who is actually staying at your property. So setting expectations early is key to a smooth stay, and you can manage guest behavior by setting clear, enforceable house rules right on your listing. You also have access to guest travel history, so you can access insights through the guest profile to see their track record on our platform. You have the verified essentials. So we ensure guests have verified email addresses and valid credit cards. When you're using payments by Booking.com, you can see if a guest has a history of misconduct or no-shows before you welcome them. And then currently, something I'm really excited about, we have an identity verification pilot that is piloting advanced identity verification in select geographies. So this will add a verified badge to guest profile, signaling they have checked our identity check. That they have signaling that they have passed our identity checks. So keep an eye out for our announcements regarding our improved guest verification. It's all about providing an extra layer of trust for you and your most valuable assets, which is your properties. While we vet the guest, we also protect your property with industry leading coverage. So we have comprehensive liability insurance. Every single reservation on our platform is protected against liability claims from guests and neighbors. The coverage is up to $1 million for every single reservation, and this coverage covers you for unexpected accidents or neighborhood incidents that might occur during a stay. It gives you peace of mind that comes standard with our partnership. We also are going to be we have rolled out host property insurance. I'm going to pass it over to Derek at Hospitable to go through some of the great protections they have on the hospitable end, and then I will talk about our host property insurance, which is brand new, and I'm very excited about it.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Emily. Hey, everybody. I'm Derek. I'm with the Hospitable team where we are a property management software. But I'm also a host, been a host for 12 years now, here just north of the Atlanta, Georgia market. And I have to admit, 12 years hosting, um, 11.5 years and not on booking.com. But I have recently got on booking.com and I'll tell you a little bit about that. But Hospitable, we're a property management software. We integrate with booking, of course. Many of you are Hospitable customers today, but if you're not, or even if you are, this is one of our tightest integrations. If you go to our properties tab inside of your account, you'll see the listing in the middle that says list on booking.com. Just hit continue. There still are some back-end things that you do need to do in the extranet. We've outlined those in our help docs, but Hospitable plus Emily and their team are super helpful to make sure that if you run into any issues that we can get you integrated. And of course, the purpose there is to make sure you don't get a double booking and we are appropriately pushing out your pricing. As Emily mentioned, they had one of the reasons I was not. So I actually should finish that story. Otherwise, it sounds like really bad. Why am I 12-year host and 11 and a half years not on booking? Well, I'm like writing down the things that I always said I would not be on booking until they offered those. Request to book. A little bit of insurance would be nice as well. A little bit of protection there. Guest verification, which Emily mentioned, is coming as well. And then the other thing is I just see booking everywhere advertised. I'm a sports fan, so when I watch sports, I also live in Atlanta where the World Cup is coming, right? So I listed my listings about 6 weeks ago, and all of my properties were unbooked for the World Cup, of which Booking is a partner or doing some advertising. I'll say I don't know exactly the relationship. I just know there's a lot of international travelers coming, and Booking has a different guest type than I'm used to getting in this area. And so I got comfortable until Booking really completes their guest verification product. That inside of the Hospitable product, you can just click to request an ID verification. So it's very simple. This is an example on the screen of a booking that came in through Booking. And then you'll see we can do an ID verification and include a sex offenders check as well. And so the first one's actually free. I click it, and what that does for me is it sends a message to the guest and says, "Hey, here's a link. We need you to complete this." They will take a picture of themselves. They'll take a picture of the front and back of their ID, and that gets me. We'll do a social media check and some other things as well. That gets me comfortable accepting a guest who, from a platform that I was unfamiliar with, quite frankly. So I got more comfortable with that, and until the guest completes the guest verification, we will suspend the automatic messages that are going out as well. So it does enforce to make sure that that takes place. So one of the other reasons I got on Booking is here is a demand chart. I wonder what this event is going on in the middle here. I live in Atlanta. That stretch is for the FIFA World Cup that is coming. And so in red, you see sort of the peak demand. In black, you see how I'm pricing one of my properties. And so I wised up and listed my properties on Booking. And then I turned on Hospitable's dynamic pricing, which is included in the product as well. So we can respond to the seasonality and those peaks. And just within the first 2 or 3 weeks, I got 3 bookings for properties for houses. So if you have not given Booking a shot as a host, it doesn't matter what property management software you're using or none. I would really consider it, especially given the advertising that they're doing and the updates that they've mentioned. And so far, I've seen an impact in my bookings. With that, I'll pass it back to Emily.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Derek. So, in addition to our liability insurance, I am so excited that we now have host property insurance for vacation rentals in the United States, Puerto Rico, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And this is automatically included, so no additional charge, um, and your properties are automatically covered under this policy. So with our host property insurance, you are covered automatically with no extra steps or extra cost to you, and it is an additional $1 million in protection. This covers physical damage to your property and its content caused by guests. So, in addition to liability insurance, we also have this host property insurance. It also covers income loss protection. So, if damages force you to cancel future bookings, you can be reimbursed for up to 3 months of lost income. And now let's take a look at exactly what falls under this $1 million umbrella. So, our coverage is designed to be really comprehensive, protecting everything from your flooring to your fine art. So, physical assets, this covers furniture, landscaping, and even stationary vehicles or watercrafts on your property. Pets and cleaning, so it includes damages caused by guests, their pets, and any excessive cleaning costs you may have if a guest leaves a significant mess. Um, Theft and keys, so it reimburses for lost or stolen items, and that includes the replacement of keys. Um, Managing these protections and your legal requirements is also now centralized for your convenience. So, moving on from our insurance, we definitely know that regulatory tasks can be a big headache. Like, no one loves to do that. So, we've centralized all the know your partner tasks in one place. So, you fill it out once and you can apply it to all of your listings. So, you can complete tasks for your legal entity and then apply them to all of the properties on your portfolio. This hub helps you monitor your status and manage all legal requirements from a single dashboard. It's definitely a major step in keeping the bar of quality and trust high for our entire community and making sure that all of your listings are following the legal requirements that they have in that specific area. So now we're going to talk about what the fuel for your business, which is getting paid. So you're in control with easier and healthy finances, more revenue security, um, and ease by using payments by booking. So with payments by booking, which is our payment service, it is designed to give you more revenue security and less administrative work. So you can reach a wider market, access a global guest market by offering the payment methods travelers actually use. We lower your risk. So we assist with fraud detection and handle chargebacks so you don't have to. You remain in control of how and when you get paid. So when guests pay online through our platform, they are significantly less likely to cancel their stay, and your payments are guaranteed once the guest completes their booking when using payments by booking. So, on the topic of payments, let's take a look at the global variety of payment methods that we support. So we support a massive array of global and local payment methods to ensure no guest is turned away because of how they want to pay. So as far as like our global standard, we accept all major credit cards and debit cards, plus Google Pay and Apple Pay. And then we also have a lot of options for your guests to pay in their regional favorites. So that could be Klarna or Venmo in the Americas, and some systems called Ideal, Blink, and SoftSort, which are really popular in Europe, so a great way to increase bookings from European travelers. In the Asia Pacific area, we have local options like Alipay and WeChat Pay, and this flexibility for guests can increase your property's attractiveness to them. It also offers trusted payment methods to give travelers on the traveler end to give them confidence to book your property over others if they're able to pay in the methods they prefer. And then as far as what is most important when you get paid, when you use payments by booking, you shouldn't have to wait weeks for your hard-earned money. So we have daily payouts. You get paid within 24 hours after a guest check-in at no extra cost. You also receive a transparent breakdown, so you can view reservation breakdowns and payout timelines directly in your Group Extranet dashboard. And then for managing multiple listings, we've also streamlined the financial paperwork. So in the past, if you are an existing Booking.com user, you know that managing your finance for all of your listings was a little bit of an administrative headache as far as looking in each individual property. Now we have them all consolidated into multi-property financial management tool. So managing finances for a portfolio is now easier than ever with group invoicing and reconciliation on the extranet. If you are using payments by booking, new properties are automatically onboarded to our payment system to get you up running quickly. So you don't, if you add new listings to your management portfolio, you don't have to go and do anything extra to enroll in payments by booking. You can toggle on a setting to make sure that they're automatically on board. You get a clear summary of any outstanding documents as far as invoices and reservation statements in one view, and then you can also pay in bulk. So kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, if you are an existing Booking.com customer, you may remember when you had to pay invoices individually for each listing. Now you can pay in bulk for your invoices all at once, which makes it much quicker and much easier. Coming in 2026, these features will also be available within your software. So within Hospitable, there will be the ability to reconcile your invoices and toggle on the group onboarding as far as like the payments by booking, all within one system. So you won't have to log into the Booking.com extranet. We also know, financial security is vital, but it must be supported by world-class cybersecurity. So safeguarding our partners, we have intensified our cybersecurity efforts to protect both you and your business and then the travelers that trust you. As cyber criminals refine their methods, we are constantly evolving our AI and machine learning to stay ahead. We understand the stress that security threats can cause and are fully committed to meeting these challenges head on. Our goal is to create a secure environment where you can focus on hospitality and not hackers. So your messaging templates and domains are now under much tighter control to prevent fraud. So getting into some of the nitty gritty, we have improved our editing functionality for messaging templates where only admin accounts can edit messaging templates, ensuring no one can insert any malicious links into your automated replies. We also have URL allow list. So we use partner managed lists to protect against unauthorized senders and malicious URLs. For phishing detection, we've deployed advanced machine learning to identify and scrape phishing messages before they ever reach you or your guests. We have robust two-factor authentication, so verifications are prompted when suspicious behavior is detected, which reduces friction for genuine users while also stopping any intruders. And then account hygiene. So accounts that have been inactive for 6 months or more are locked, and then those inactive accounts, if they're not used for over 24 months, they're then completely disabled, and this can prevent additional misuse by hackers. We've doubled our team capacity to handle fraudulent reports and account recovery faster than ever. So our systems are working 24/7 to stop fraudulent bookings before they even appear on your calendar. Our infrastructure is designed to act as a shield, identifying and blocking fake reservations before they can disrupt your business. So our algorithms swiftly identify suspicious booking patterns and neutralize them. We've enhanced automation for faster handling of fraud reports, ensuring your calendar stays clean. And so we are proactive, not just reactive, when it comes to stopping these fraudsters. While we do our part, there are some simple steps that you can take on your end to make sure your property is and your properties are even more secure. So going into some best practices. So security is definitely a partnership, and here are the top ways that you can help us keep your business safe. So individual accounts. Never share a login. Create individual extranet accounts for yourself and every employee. We've now made that easier than ever. So in the past, you would have to add a user to each individual listing, where now you can manage that on a group level and create primary accounts for all of your listings at once for those for those staff that need access. Um, we always communicate through the Booking.com platform, so avoid taking conversations to personal email or WhatsApp. Pay extra attention to urgent messages or strange requests, even if they claim to be from an authority figure. Just to give you an example of, we do like internal phishing tests, and I had one that it was like impersonating my boss. Um, so it wasn't a real threat, it was a simulated test, but it had all the markers of fraud. It was like urgent, respond within the next hour. So if you ever get any messages like that, just be extra vigilant. Make sure they're coming from a trusted source and a trusted domain name. And then make sure you enable two-factor authentication, not just on Booking.com, but your personal accounts and your personal email addresses. So this wraps up how to be on Booking.com and all the things that we have for you to reduce any risky guests. And I would love to open it up to a Q&A. So we have delivered over 1 billion vacation rental guest arrivals. Our mission continues to support our community of super happy hosts. You can register for free at join.booking.com or scan the QR code on the screen. Thank you all for your time and being a part of this diverse travel community. I'm ready to take any questions if you want to drop them in the chat about anything that we discussed today.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you very much, Emily. Yeah, we already have a bunch of questions in the chat. We've saved them ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll bring them up now. Emily and Derek might be able to assist with some of these. There's kind of a mixture of stuff in there. Catherine had a question about, I'm connected to an OTA via PMS. I don't believe I have the option to not have instant book on for booking.com. Is this true?
Yeah, so it may be that the property has been listed on Booking.com for quite some time and it's grandfathered into an old policy. If it is not available, it would be under reservation policies where you can change from instant book to request a book. However, if your property has been on the platform for quite some time, it may not be eligible for request a book.
Okay, that makes sense. Cool. Thank you very much. Catherine, let us know if there's any follow-up question around that. Okay, next up, Wendy had a good question around who's booking via booking.com. Is it mostly business travelers, or are you seeing leisure travelers as well?
Yeah, I would say our largest customer base is families and leisure travelers, as well as couples and solo travelers. So we do have an arm of our business that is focusing more on the business traveler. But as far as just in general, we definitely cater to families and couples.
Cool. Awesome. Good to know. Okay, a couple more questions around kind of, I guess, the verification process and insurance as well. So Catherine had a question that she basically got stuck in the property verification process. So I guess the question there is, what do we do then? Like, is there a way to contact booking.com to kind of get unstuck there?
Yeah. So with the verification process, the way that our team communicates with hosts is through the booking.com platform. So always make sure that you're checking not just the guest messages, but those messages that are coming from booking.com directly, because they're likely requesting some additional documentation for you, from you. We have a lot of robust checks and balances in place to make sure that fraudulent properties are not listed on our platform. So while I fully understand it can be a little bit of a headache sometimes, these are set in place to protect our guests. So make sure to check those messages directly from booking.com. And I'm also happy to drop an email in this chat that you can reach out directly, and I can take a look at the specific situation, because as far as verification goes, the scenarios are typically pretty specific. So that's kind of my general answer, but I'm happy to look into your specific issue as far as the verification goes, Catherine. And I'm going to drop this email in the chat right now, but please feel free to shoot me a message and I'll take a look at that for you.
Cool. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
And I should say, as I ask these questions, Emily, feel free to let us know if you can't answer live. I'm
Yeah,
throwing everything at you. Cool. Okay. Ashley had a question around the insurance and whether it would work in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah. So currently, the host property insurance is available in the U.S., Puerto Rico, and the U.S. domestic islands, U.S. Virgin Islands. So right now it's not available in the Dominican Republic, but just keep an eye out, because we're always enhancing and improving and adding, new countries to the features and functionalities that we offer. So it's likely that could potentially come in the future.
Cool. Awesome. Makes sense. And then Mark had a couple of questions here. So first one, why do you charge a commission invoice after the guest stays? Is there a way to set it to come out of the fees prior to the host commission gets paid?
Yes. So Mark, as someone based in the US, I completely feel your pain with this one. To give you some context around why our commission is charged after a guest stay, booking.com is based in the Netherlands, and as a result of this, we have there's very stringent regulations around how finances are managed in the European Union. As a result, we are not allowed to withhold any of your funds from you. I know that there are, discussions of ways that we can potentially offer this in the US at some point. Nothing concrete right now. Just want to be fully honest and transparent with you. So I hope that it's something that we can offer our hosts in the United States at some point. But right now we are beholden to the regulations of the European Union.
Makes sense. Okay, Mark had a separate question about customizing the description of the property. So when I set up our profile, it automatically wrote the description and it wasn't completely accurate. Is there a way to customize that?
Yes, there is. So I feel like this is something that we could probably advertise a little bit better, but there is a way for you to customize your own a host profile, so you can put your logo as well as a blurb about your company as well and your company name. You can also do a customized property description. So I'm just pulling up my account and I can share my screen and show you exactly where that is real quick. But yeah, it's definitely something that I feel like is a little bit hidden and some of our hosts might not know about it. So I will go ahead and show you exactly where you can do that. And on this note, while I'm pulling up my account, I definitely recommend that this is something that everyone does because one, as you said, there might be some things in our automated description that aren't highlighted that you would like to highlight. And two, guests are very savvy these days. So by putting your company name and your company logo, they might be discovering you on booking.com. They could potentially book directly with you. Just to give you some context around our automatically generated descriptions, they are generated based on which amenities you have selected. And booking.com has done a ton of research and they're all data driven on what converts the best. So what gives you the most bookings? All of that being said, I'll go ahead and show you where you can put a custom description in. So from the property homepage, so you'd go to property and then under your profile here, this is where you can go ahead and update. So you'd put either your company profile, your host profile, throw up a logo, and then in this area is where you would put your custom property description. So again, really great way to build trust with guests and highlight some of the things that might not be included in the automated description.
Great, awesome. Okay, and I'll bring up the slide that you had before in case someone does want to register, and then we'll take a couple more questions from the chat as well.
Sure.
Cool. So we had a question here. Can you clarify how the damage insurance works? Does each guest have to purchase it, or is it automatically added to each reservation? How does the claims process work?
Yeah, so the guests do not have to purchase it. It's something that's automatically included. So there's nothing additional that you need to do. There's no extra cost for the partner. It's automatically included when you list a property on booking.com. As far as how the claims are handled, they are handled by Generali, who is our partner in offering this service. So how the claims process worked is you would go to the reservations tab on the reservation details page and click make a claim. And then that's where you would add as much information about the incident as possible. You would then submit it, send it, which triggers it to be sent to Generali, and they will contact you within 5 business days regarding the resolution of that insurance claim.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, a couple of questions around payout methods. From Sati specifically, I know Booking.com only allows one bank account per account holder. Is this going to change at any point? Do you know?
So right now, it's been a hot topic. I will be very honest about that. So it's come up quite frequently, and the team that I'm on, we consistently give this feedback to our product development teams. Like, we would love to see this. Our hosts would love to see this. It's not something that is currently on the roadmap, or I have a timeline of when this will be available. However, this feedback, continue giving us this feedback. Because we echo what we hear from our hosts, and it has come up quite frequently. So I know that it's definitely being looked at. I just don't have a date or a timeline of when that would happen.
Okay, fair enough. I know it's very difficult to be pressed on a timeline for releasing things.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then we had a question around cancellation policies. Is there a general cancellation policy for guests? How does Booking.com handle that?
Yeah. So we basically have like 3 kind of main categories for guest cancellation policies, and then within those, there's some different options that you can select. So we have non-refundable, fully flexible, and semi-flexible. A semi-flexible would be offering like free cancellation within, certain date increments. So like within 7 days, 14 days, 28 days, going up to 60 days. Non-refundable would be 100% non-refundable at the time of booking. I kind of steer away from doing a fully non-refundable unless you are able to offer both policies. So something I suggest is like maybe having a non-refundable rate at a more competitive price, and then a more flexible cancellation policy at a higher price, dependent on what the guest cares more about. And then lastly, we have an extremely flexible cancellation policy, which doesn't necessarily work for vacation rental hosts. That would be like free cancel day of arrival up until 4 p.m. So the policies that are most popular with our hosts are non-refundable and semi-flexible. And then we have a lot of different options within the semi-flexible kind of category for you to choose from.
Okay, nice. It's a good, thorough description. Love it.
Okay,
a couple of questions around payments. So let's see if we haven't answered all these already, but how can we get around the requirement of Booking.com on having to collect the payment for the first few bookings at check-in rather than online before arrival day?
So this sounds like maybe a specific situation that I would have to look into. I am not sure on the first few bookings. It may have to do with like a new partner like restriction when you first join the platform, but I would have to look like into the scenario specifically. So Carol, if you want to email that address I put in the chat, I'm happy to take a look at that for you.
Cool. And you might want to add that in the chat again, if that's okay, Emily.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our chat has moved on a lot since then. There's been a lot of conversation.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have time for a few more questions. I think we've got 5 or so minutes left. We had a question around, request to book earlier. What do you do if you're not eligible for the request to book if you've been on the platform a long time? Is there a way around that?
So currently there's not a way around that, because essentially and I'll give you kind of the logic behind it, is that if you've traditionally offered instantaneous bookings on the platform, switching to request to book after the fact can significantly impact your booking conversion. So it's not, if you've been on the platform for quite some time, your property is likely not eligible. And unfortunately, there's no sort of like workaround for that currently. But again, that could change in the future.
That makes sense. Okay, thank you. Okay, I did promise a couple more questions around payments, and then I got distracted. Is there a way for Booking.com to take their fees out of the guest payout versus I have to pay it separately?
Yeah, so how I'm understanding this has to do with the invoicing, and with how us being kind of under the European Union's regulations as far as withholding payment from you, the host. I know it definitely seems a little backwards, like we are sending you money and then you're sending it back. But right now, that's the regulations that we need to follow.
Makes sense. And then Diane asked about if it's possible to create promo codes with Booking.com.
As far as like a guest, no. So currently there's not a way to create promo codes, like unique promo codes for guests. We do have a lot of promotion options that you can enroll in if you do want to offer promotions to your guest, and you can put some tight restrictions around those. So as far as like specific seasonality and specific requirements of the reservation as far as like length of stay. So when you're logged onto the booking.com extranet, if you go to the Group Opportunity Center, that's where you can take a look at all of the different promotions that we provide and that you're able to offer to your guests.
Awesome. That makes sense.
Mhm.
And then I guess final question around invoices. So if I receive an invoice, but I wasn't to pay it, do you just automatically take the funds out of my account?
No. So we do not automatically take the funds unless there's a caveat to that. If you have enrolled in direct debit, which you are essentially authorizing booking.com to automatically take invoice payments from you. If you have filled out that information and opted in to have your invoices paid via direct debit, then yes, invoices are paid automatically. Otherwise, if you're not in direct debit, if you don't pay them, your listing could potentially be closed after a certain time period due to non-payment of an invoice, but we will never take payment without your consent.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think just one more question, and this is kind of clarification, I guess, on what we're doing in the extranet and what we're doing on Hospitable.
Yeah, so for the most part, you will manage most of your operations within Hospitable. As Derek had mentioned, we have a really tight integration with them, and I would say 90% of everything that you're going to be doing as far as like daily operations will be within Hospitable. However, there are a few things that you will manage on the booking.com extranet. So that would be like payments by booking. It will be fully integrated with all of the different functionality to our software providers by the end of the year. But as far as like reservation details and anything like reservation related, that will all be within Hospitable.
Cool. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Emily.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're going to have to call an end to this session. If you do have any more follow-up questions for us, you can go ahead and drop them in the community, and we can share those with Emily afterwards. Emily's also dropped her email address in the chat again, so if you do have any questions directly for her, you can go and ask her there. I'll also share the community link there too, in case you need to drop anything into that. So thank you so much, Emily. It was fantastic learning more about Booking.com and the opportunities there.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Awesome.